After years of promises and planning, Micron has set a date to begin the highly anticipated construction of its $100 billion mega fab campus in the town of Clay. The company announced on Wednesday, January 7th, that construction is planned for the site on Friday, January 16th. The company is planning a groundbreaking ceremony at the White Pine Commerce Park site, followed by a celebration program at Syracuse University. The $100 billion project, promising 50,000 jobs, was announced more than 3 years ago in October of 2022. Chuck Schumer said in a statement, "With Micron ready to break ground next week, we are ushering in the next chapter of Central New York's future. This is the culmination of years of work and my dream when I first authored the CHIPS and Science Law to make an historic investment for Upstate New York a reality. We are finally just days away from putting the first shovel into the ground to fundamentally transform upstate New York's economy, bringing tens of thousands of good-paying jobs and bringing semiconductor manufacturing back from overseas, with upstate New York leading the way." Greg, what are you thinking about this? How's this going to change our area?
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, it's kind of hard to overstate. That number 100 billion is just like, it might as well be infinity. Like, it's just such a hard number to get your head around. And it's the greater Syracuse metro has a GDP of like 50 billion. So it's like you're talking about tripling the GDP of the Syracuse metro in a 10-year period. So it's like, just imagine if you were making $100,000 a year and then all of a sudden you're making $300,000 a year. Like, it's going to change things. Like, whether you're buying a Lambo or investing in real estate or putting it all in the stock market or whatever you're doing with it, it almost doesn't matter what you do with it. That influx into the economy is just, it's hard to overestimate how impactful that's going to be. That's an enormous project. It's crazy.
It's unlike anything this area will have ever seen before, really. Those numbers, it's hard to wrap your mind around some of those numbers that are being thrown at us. We'll see. Obviously, months ago, the big story was that the phase one was not going to be complete until 2030, and phase two, 2032. Anything else you know about that?
Yeah, well, so, I mean, every construction project always starts with the most optimistic timeline, and it always gets pushed back. So, anyone who has done any development or worked with developers knows that, that 2028 was never going to happen. There was never going to be a fully functional fabrication plant in 2028. So that, to me, was not that problematic. It was the timing of it was funny, though, because it was like they got past the environmental board within days of then being like, oh, and by the way, we're pushing back our timeline 2 years. So I think the mixed signals of it was something that kind of threw everybody for a loop. But I mean, the way they're doing the phases, eventually it's going to be 4 fabrication plants, but they're doing them one at a time. So finishing up phase 1 in 2030 means that there is a fabrication plant, and they're also doing the daycare for the employees and all the associated administrative building as part of phase 1. So we'll have the administrative building plus 1 fabrication plant rocking and rolling in 2030, theoretically, unless it gets delayed again. Then it's the second fab in 2032 and yada yada. But yeah, so I mean, if they are officially manufacturing microchips in 2030 and they're continuing construction, that's the other thing is the construction project. It's, that was one of the things we're going to talk about later is what is the timeline of these construction workers? And it's like a decade, it's, if you've got a construction gig and you're working on Micron, you're not done in 2030. Like, the fun is only beginning when you get to 2030 and one of the fabs is done. So yeah, I mean, it's really going to change Central New York. That is a big project.
We're real estate agents. We're not semiconductor manufacturers, you and I.
Speak for yourself, but,
Where are we going to put all these people?
Well, I mean, that's the question, right? Because it's like, so part of the housing issue, part of it is just demographic change, where there's smaller household formation. So for the same if your population stays flat, you need more houses than you used to, just because the household formation is smaller, right? So if your population stays flat when you have more housing, then on top of it, you add into that 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 50,000 people. And that, it's just going to put this affordability issue totally on steroids. And there was a press release, I don't remember if it was last year or 2 years ago, that was saying that we need 30,000 additional housing units and in the next decade. And that was not taking Micron into account, Eric. That was just the regular, we're going to need 30,000 more housing units. I don't know how many more you need if you add in 50,000 employees for Micron and the associated impact on the economy from that. But I mean, I do not see a way that supply outpaces demand anytime soon. And like projects in the works are something like 6,000 projected housing units in the works. We need 30, maybe we need more than that. It's just we are so far behind on building housing around here. It's laughable that prices go anywhere but up. It's just impossible.
Right. Absolutely. So if you've gotten a house and maybe you live kind of where I live, Cicero area, maybe stay just a little bit longer.
You are living
Maybe gut it
large.
out. It's not time to go to Florida yet.